Before starting any project, there are a few questions every project manager must answer. First, should this project follow a step by step plan? Second, should it be flexible and adaptive to change? Third, and what exactly is the difference between waterfall, agile, and hybrid approaches? How do these approaches work in real life projects? And finally, how do you choose the right approach for your project? In today's video, we'll try to answer all of these questions. This is my fourth video in the series of project management, and today I'm going to focus on project management approaches, namely the waterfall, which is traditional approach, the agile approach, and the hybrid approach. One of the most oldest and widely used approaches of project management is traditional or the waterfall approach. As the name suggests, it follows a waterfall or the stage-wise approach. It follows a linear or sequential structure. Planning is completed upfront, all the requirements are gathered at the beginning of the project, and the project is executed in stages. Each of these stages or phases need to be completed before the next one could begin. In this approach, changes are difficult. Changes to the project scope are difficult. The changes that come in later become more costly. Changes that are introduced during execution are costlier than the changes that come in the initial phase of the project. That's why waterfall works best with traditional kind of projects where requirements are clearly defined at the initial phase of the project. A very good example of waterfall type of project is house construction, where you begin with gathering the requirements, then the architectural design, then the civil engineers focus on the foundation work of it, then the structural part of it, then laying the roof, and followed by the electrical, mechanical, and plumbing works. Finally, finishing and handover of the project takes place. Now, each phase depends on the completion of the previous phase. You cannot start building walls of the house unless the foundation slab is laid. Or you cannot go ahead and put the roof on top of the house unless the walls are constructed. This is the sequential nature of the project that defines waterfall approach. Here we are looking at a sample project, which is a construction project on waterfall approach. What you can see here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 phases in the life cycle of this construction project. First, we can see there is feed, ITB, invitation to bid, engineering, procurement, construction, commissioning, and startup. Putting simply, the life cycle of a waterfall project follows this kind of linearity. First is the feasibility study with cost variance of plus minus 30%, which is further made accurate with pre-feed and feed front-end engineering design, where the cost variance becomes 10 to 15% plus and minus, which is followed by engineering design, followed by procurement, construction, commissioning, startup, closeout, and handover of the project. Now let's move to the Agile approach. Agile is an iterative and adaptive methodology that focuses on delivering value in small incremental cycles called sprints. Instead of planning everything at the beginning of the project, Agile allows the team to evolve the product with continuous feedback. And that is why Agile emphasizes on team collaboration, customer involvement, and efficiency and flexibility throughout the project life cycle. A common example of Agile is mobile app development. In Agile approach, team may gather the customer requirements and develop a mobile application with core features and release it to the customer, then gain some feedback from them and develop the app based on the customer feedback. In the next sprint, there may be some features added to the app, or maybe some features will be removed from the app. All this happens based on the customer's continuous feedback. This cycle of build, test, review, and improve continues until the customer is satisfied with the output of the project. So, Agile is particularly effective in case of the projects where customer requirement is continuously supposed to or expected to evolve. Any software development project or application development project follows a different kind of life cycle phases for the project. You can see here, analyze the requirements, plan, design, build, test the prototype, and deliver, and then follows the feedback cycle of it. This is more or less a theoretical approach, but in reality, in practical, app development project follows agile approach in a way that is very adaptive and iterative in nature, using number of iterative sprints. First of all, we can see the customer requirements are gathered by the product owner, which is nothing but a list of requirements. The sprint planning is done by the team, which converts these requirements into tasks, which are listed down in a sprint backlog, which is a list of activities or tasks that need to be done to fulfill the customer requirements. Now, the development process takes place in number of sprints, which are short sprints of 1 to 4 week duration. The leader who leads this activity or the sprints is called a scrum master. A very important part of this sprint is daily scrum. Daily scrum is nothing but a 15-minute stand-up meeting where the team looks at the scope of work, the work activities that need to be done today, the activities that were completed yesterday, what needs to be done today and tomorrow, what are the blockages or shortfalls that need to be looked at, what are the blockages that the Scrum Master can help to remove. After the sprint, the output or the shippable product comes out as an increment. After every sprint, there is a sprint retrospective, which is nothing but a meeting to look back at what we have achieved till now, what went well, what went wrong, and how we can improve the process in the future. Next is the hybrid project management approach. In many real world scenarios, projects don't exactly fit into one type of project management methodology. The hybrid approach combines the structured planning of Waterfall with flexibility of Agile. The high-level requirements and milestones are defined upfront, and the execution happens in iterative cycles. For example, an organization may define scope, budget, and timeline using Waterfall approach, while the development of execution approach may be done using Agile sprints. This approach gives predictability to stakeholders while still allowing team members to adapt to change during execution. We are looking at one example of hybrid project management approach used in construction project. This is one of the proposals that I had prepared while I was studying one of the projects in construction. My proposal was that while waterfall approach follows a linear approach of feasibility study followed by pre-feed, feed to engineering, procurement, construction, commissioning, startup and close out of the project, we could have multiple iterations within each phase of the project. The engineering can have number of iterations within that phase, and each of the iteration we can see the detailed out stages in every iteration where feasibility is checked, requirements gathered, designs are done, then a review happens, we receive the customer's feedback to update the requirements again, and finally updated drawings are released in multiple iterations. That helps to develop the project phase-wise while using a hybrid approach where not only the requirements that were initially agreed with the client while they are still developing and while the customer is still wanting to modify their requirements, we are still in a position to take care of them. Hybrid project management can be adopted in any kind of traditional project management. What is stopping organizations from adopting iterative kind of approach in project management or traditional project management is only the leadership or the vision that the leadership has. So how do you choose the right project management approach suitable for your project? So if your project has fixed requirements, defined scope, limited changes, then waterfall approach is often the best choice. If your project operates in dynamic environment with evolving requirements, then agile is more suitable. And if your project requires both structure and flexibility, then hybrid project management gives you best of both the worlds. The key is not choosing the most popular approach, but the approach that is most suitable for the type of your project. To summarize, we looked at three different types of project management approaches, namely the waterfall, agile, and hybrid. Each one has its own strength and each one serves for different type of project environment. If you found this video helpful, please share it in your community and the ones who are learning project management.